Okay.
So I'm getting quite good. First time I have zero knowledge in development, but I have lead the team with development, but I
Okay.
never write in a single code.
Okay. No problem. Anyway, the class is designed only for the non-technical candidate who doesn't know anything about DevOps and all. So don't worry. Yeah. What about others? All are done? All are done? If yes, we will start discussing about these DevOps. Guys, again, I'm repeating, don't get bored who already attend the demo session because we want to cope up with each and everyone. Okay. So first, let's see what is the, you guys are able to see my screen, am I right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 Yeah. Yeah. You can mute yourself if you're not talking anything. And if you have any doubts, so we can interrupt me at any time and you can ask your questions. Don't hesitate to ask your doubts and questions. Okay. Let me tell you what is the use of the DevOps engineer in real time. What are the main responsibilities of the DevOps engineer? Why we need a DevOps engineer? Suppose let us assume that we are all working for a IRCTC application. Suppose we are working on a IRCTC application. Okay, we're going to have a developers in the office, and also we're going to have the testers in the company. Am I right or wrong? This is the general tendency we are going to have it. When you want to prepare an application, like we want to develop the source code of this particular application, whose responsibility to develop the source code for this IRCTC application? Who is going to work on that particular activity? Guys, I need your answers. Okay, if you guys are in contact with me so that I can move on quickly, so that I can understand that you are in line with my course. Okay, so developers are going to write the source code for this application. Okay, suppose for classroom, okay, for our understanding purpose, we will take one simple example and we can understand the concept of the DevOps. Suppose let us assume that 10 developers are going to work on this particular activity. Okay, 10 developers are working on for this IRCTC application, and let us assume that they have prepared some 100 Java files to implement this IRCTC application. Okay, we have 10 developers and they have prepared some 100 Java files to complete this IRCTC application. But can you guys tell me how these developers are going to deliver to the tester, or else are they directly delivering these files to the customer? Which one is the true one? Once the development activity completed, are you going to deliver this? Yeah, we need to test it. That is the correct answer.
Yes.
Right. But the thing is that how these 10 developers are going to send these 100 Java files to the testing team. That is our target. Am I right or wrong? Because we have 10 developers are there and 10 developers are going to prepare some 100 Java files. Okay. And these 10 developers should deliver these 100 Java files to this testing team. How they can send? Can you tell me what are the possible ways to send these files to the testing team? In general case, I'm talking about, not as per the technical terms. Suppose you guys are there, you all 10 people have some files, you want to share those files to me. How you are going to share your files to me?
GIF files.
GIF files,
Generally,
that is the one option.
GIF WAR file or any jar files.
Okay. So that means that everyone is going to create a WAR file or a jar file and everyone is going to send it, right?
Yeah, it's a manual process.
Now put it in shared location.
Yeah, put it in the shared location, or else we can have one more approach. Is that okay to send in the emails? Suppose you are the developer, you are done with your work. Is that okay to send your files to the testing team in the form of an email?
That depends. Like email sometimes it won't be allowing.
Some formats not supported to send through email.
Forget about the format and all. If you are in a position to send the email, is it a good approach in the real time?
No, not right. Not.
It's not at all the good practice to send the files in the form of a real time. For classroom, I am saying 10 developers and I'm talking about 100 Java files. But in the real time, we are going to have n number of developers and they are going to prepare n number of Java files. Am I right or wrong? Okay.
Yes.
So if they send these files in the form of a email, very tedious job to the testing team. Am I right or wrong? To download the files from the emails and to consolidate all the emails. Suppose if you have a 10,000 developers. Suppose if you have a 10,000 developers, very big task. Am I right or wrong? Suppose let us assume that we will go for a shared location concept. Suppose if I am working for IBM, we are going to have the shared location like this. This is the network team is going to be create this for us. Am I right or wrong? This is the shared location. This is going to be created by the network team. Everyone in the office can access this URL. Everyone in the office can access this link. Okay, because the network admins has created the shared location and they gave access to every developer. So every developer is trying to place the files into the shared location whenever they are done with the work. Is it a good approach in the real time? Or else are you going to face any problem if you go with the shared location concept? Can you tell me? Can you guess? Tell me whatever is there in your mind, you can tell. Whether is it wrong or right, no problem. Is that okay for every developer to place the files in the shared location?
Maybe everyone has the access, so that means everyone can delete some others files. So maybe some permission issue.
Okay. Okay.
It is not a good idea because some different file sequence may be missing, so that at the time of testing, particular features may be missing or they may miss.
Okay. So we do have some problem.
If they release a new version, so it will be not compatible.
Okay. Okay. Should be control location with proper version system. Yeah. But let's understand one scenario. Suppose they have placed one file like k.java. Tomorrow again they have modified some content and again they replace the same file in the shared location. Day after tomorrow again he modified the same file like k.java and again he placed the same file in the shared location. Fourth day again they are trying to modify the same file and again to place it in the shared location. But after 5 days he realized that he want to see the first day data. Is it possible to him? Because in the shared location he already overridden the file. Am I right or wrong? So is it possible to see the first day data? Difficult to find.
He can't see. No, he can't see.
Yeah, and one more thing, it is very difficult when he modified, which content he modified, which lines he deleted. Okay, and next day who worked on that particular file. Am I right or wrong? Because the development team is going to work on the same files, right? Maybe they are going to create some new files. It is not something like every developer is going to create a new file. Am I right or wrong?
Yes.
Developers are going to share across the files. Am I right or wrong? So
Yes.
that means that we have some problem if they place the files in the shared location. So we don't want to go with this approach. The next approach we have is version control tool. We have one tool that is going to maintain each and everything. You no need to bother about it. Okay, what is that tool? Version control tool. You guys first need to understand the problem. Okay, and then how that is going to be solved in the tool. That is important. This way I'm going to teach it. Okay, first we need to understand the scenario in the real time. What is the problems you are going to come up? Why we are not going for the shared location concept? Okay, so now I am going for a version control tool. What are the version control tools are available in the market?
SVN
CVS is the one. Only two. CVS is the one.
Git.
SVN is the one. Git is the one. Then ClearCase is the one. TFS is the one. PVCS is the one. Perforce is the one. Right, like this we do have 25 plus version control tools are available in the market. How many version control tools are available in the market? Don't say that only two. Okay, we do have 25 plus version control tools are available in the market. But here again the question is which one you want to use it. Am I right or wrong? Because we have 25 options. So which one you want to pick up? Can anyone tell me on which basis you are going to select the version control tool? Any idea? Because I guess most of the guys are working employees, right? So on which basis you are going to select the particular tool? Any guess? Any idea?
It's based on security and commercial because if it's based on client, we want open source and we don't want any support and security, then we can go for CVS and S.
Yeah, that is the correct answer actually. Suppose I am starting the new company. Suppose I got one project and I'm working on that particular project. That is my new project. I can't give guarantee that my project is going to be success or not. At the same time, at the initial time, am I in a position to bear the things for licensed version of this version control and all those things? No, definitely. I will not at all go for the licensed version at the earliest. At that time, what I'm going to do is, instead of going for a licensed version, I will go and use the freeware. Suppose if you go for a CVS or a SVN, these two are freeware. But if you go for a Git or TFS or ClearCase, these are licensed version. Now, can you guys tell me what is the difference between this freeware and the licensed version? What is the benefits you are going to get it if you go for the licensed version? And can you tell me what is the exact meaning of licensed version? Suppose if you go for a freeware, we are not going to get any support. That means, suppose if I have any issue in the version control tool like CVS or SVN, is anyone help me? Is anyone going to be help me for me? No one. Okay, but if I go for a licensed version, what are the benefits I'm going to get if you go for a licensed version?
Support
I'm going
and
to get the security as well as I'm going to get the support. That is the correct answer. Okay, we are going to get the support and also, guys, can you mute yourself please if you're not talking anything? Guys, can you mute yourself if you're not talking anything, please? Please don't disturb others. Okay, so now let's talk about licensed version. Suppose if I have any issue in the Git, to whom I need to raise a ticket? Can you guys tell me?
We can
Yes.
To the
we can
vendor.
ask to support team and vendors.
Yeah, vendors who need to raise the tickets. May I know who is the vendor for the Git? One of the guy is already there from that company, Microsoft. Recently acquired Microsoft this Git. Earlier this is with Atlassian. Okay, Atlassian is the vendor. Okay, and so if you go for a licensed version, you are going to get the support as well as you are going to get the security also. Suppose if you lose the data in the Git, then you can simply go and ask the Microsoft. They can provide each and everything. Okay, so you are going to get the support and you are going to get the security also. So based on the companies, based on the applications, based on the projects, based on the environments, they are going to select the version control tool. Based on the budgets, okay, based on those things, they are going to select the version control tool. So in my classes, I'm going to touch base with one SVN and one Git also. Can you guys expect why I'm teaching both? Why can't only one? Because Git is becoming more popular in the market and every company is trying to use the Git now. And even in the interviews, most of the cases, they will ask, well, do you know Git or not? But still, why I'm teaching SVN? Can you guys expect that one?
So we don't know where we'll go.
Pallavi, sorry, we are unable to hear
Experience,
you
then we
properly.
can't say
We are getting some disturbance. We are unable to hear you properly. What about others? If you want, you can chat also. No, it's not something like one licensed version and one freeware. Only because of that reason, I'm not teaching both. Because you guys are going to put some 4 to 5 years of experience in the Devops, right? But you guys are saying that you are using we are using it from long 5 years. That is enough for the interview to reject you. Okay, Git is becoming popular from last 3 to 4 years, and also once the Git is came into the market, your company is not directly going to utilize the Git because they are going to test it. Okay, is it suitable for our company or not? Is it suitable for our environment or not? Are you going to have any extra feature or not? Because we need to have some resource to work on the Git. Am I right or wrong? Currently we are with the SVN, suppose. We need to utilize Git in future. Okay, they are going to check the feasibility, each and everything, unless and until the companies won't change the directions from SVN to Git. That's the reason I'm going to teach SVN and also I'm going to teach Git. Okay, these are the things I'm going to cover in my Devops course. So this is our first responsibility. Who is the admin for this version control tool? Can you tell me? Who is the admin for version control tool? Who is going to do the installation of the version control tool? Is it a developer or a tester? Is it a DevOps engineer? DevOps engineer responsibility to maintain.
DevOps engineer.
Okay, DevOps engineer responsibility to maintain this version control tool. Okay, so who is the user for this version control tool? Who is going to use this version control tool? Developers are going to use this version control tool. Why they are using version control tool? They are going to put their data into the version control tool. Whenever they read, they are going to download the code from the version control tools. Okay, so in my classes, I'm going to touch base with how to do the checkout, check-in, commit, add, blame, merge concept, branching strategy, tag strategy. Okay, these are the concepts are involved in the version control tool. What is meant by a clone? What is meant by a pull? What is meant by a rebase? What is meant by a push? What is meant by a stash? These are the concepts I'm going to cover in the version control tool. Okay. Any questions so far in the version control tool? Till version control tool? Are you guys in a position to understand what is the responsibility of the DevOps engineer now? This is our first responsibility. Next responsibility is, suppose let us assume the developers has checked in the files. So how many files they have checked in the Git now? Suppose 100 files. Suppose 100 Java files. After that, what we need to do? As a DevOps engineer, we need to do 3 activities. What is that? Check out the code. Checkout is nothing but download the files from the version control tool. After that, what he need to do? He need to compile the files. After that, he need to create the package. Package needs nothing but it can be a zip file, or else it can be a .war file, or else it can be a .rar file, or else it can be a .exe, or else it can be a tar file, or else star.gz also. Okay, based on the companies, we are going to create this package. Don't assume that this is only we need to create a only var file, only the zip file, only the .exe. No, based on the applications, based on the projects, the package we are going to be decided. Okay, but here the thing is that whenever we got the build request, this complete process we are going to call it as a build. This complete process, like checking out the code, compiling the source code, creating the package, this complete process we are going to call it as a build. But the thing is that whenever the development team send the request to us, or else if they raise the ticket in the Jira, we are going to receive that ticket and we need to act on that particular ticket. Right? So suppose if I need to do the checkout of the code, that is a manual process. If I want to do the compilation of the files, that is also a manual process. Creating the package, that is also a manual process. Suppose if you got the build request tomorrow, again we need to repeat the same steps. Again we need to check out the code. Again we need to compile the code. Again we need to create the package. Suppose if you got the build request on the 3rd day, again same activities. Downloading the code, compiling the source code, creating the package. Okay, in order to eliminate these 3 manual steps, we have one more tool that is called build tool. What are the build tools are available in the market? Can you tell me? Can you guys tell me? Maven and the Gradle.
Maven.
Okay, and Maven and the Gradle. Suppose if you go for the and, we need to write build.xml file. But if you go for a Maven, we need to write form.xml file. But if you go for a Gradle, we need to write build.gradle. Am I right or wrong? So who is going to write this build.xml file? Can you tell me now? Who is going to write this build.xml file, or else form.xml file, or else build.gradle?
Developers?
No. Tool itself.
Why developer?
It will check.
DevOps engineer. Why? Because who is doing these manual processes? DevOps engineer, right? Why developer is going to take that much of headache? But still, developer is also going to write.
It's one time written, right? By the developer. Yes. Like what are the jars required? How it should be bundled? How the resource file should be placed somewhere?
They will tell you those things, but they will not prepare the build XML files. They will ask you to prepare by yourself. But in some cases, developers are also going to create the build XML file. But I don't want to confuse you guys now itself, but I will tell you in which scenario they are also creating the build XML file. Till that point, we should hold that one. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So because the DevOps engineer is going to do this activity, right? Checking out the code, compiling the code, creating the package. This is our manual efforts. We want to remove our manual efforts. We want to eliminate your manual efforts. That's the reason you are going to write this build.xml file. And if you write once this build.xml file, suppose if you got the build request now, just go and call this build.xml file. Suppose if you got the build request tomorrow, just go and call this XML file. Don't do checkout, don't do compile, don't do package, because we have already written the script in the build.xml file. That XML file is going to take care of each and everything, because we have put down each and every instructions in the build.xml file. Is it a good practice to have this build tool in the real time, or else are you guys are interested to do it in a manual process? And also, if you want to do it manual, suppose if you have 100 Java files, we need to trigger the command like Java C file name till 100 times. Am I right or wrong? Check out the code. That is a manual process. Compiling manual process. Creating the package is the manual process. If you are doing it in a manual process, definitely we are going to have a error prone. Am I right or wrong? That's the reason, in order to eliminate these manual processes, we are going to have the build.xml files. We are going to go for the build tool. Which one you want to use, this purely depends on your choice. And apart from these three build tools, we are going to have two more. That is Anant, and one more we have MS Build. For .NET based projects, mostly they are going to use MS Build. Anant, MS Build. In my classes, I'm going to touch base Ant, and also I'm going to touch base Maven. But I will show you one real-time project when I'm going to deal with the Ant scripting. I'm going to show you my real-time build.xml files, my current project build.xml files. Okay, first I'm going to touch base with the basics, and I will take you guys up to the intermediate level, something else. After that, I will show my real-time build.xml file, so that you can also understand how they have written in the real time, rather than learning just like a commands, tags, right? So once you guys are comfortable with the basic level and intermediate level, then I will show my real-time build.xml files. Okay, suppose let us assume that I will create one scenario just to understanding purpose only. Okay, suppose you are getting build request every day at 9 p.m. What you are going to do when you got the build request? Just you are going to call that build.xml file. Suppose let us assume that it is going to take 3 hours, suppose 2 hours to complete that activity. So by at what time the build is ready? 11 p.m. But every day you are getting build request at 9 p.m. and you are sitting in the office just to call the build.xml file, and you are sitting ideal for 2 hours to complete that activity. By 11 p.m. you are going to get the package. If you put down var, then you are going to get the var. If you have written the XML file like a GIF file, then you are going to get the GIF file. Suppose let us assume that you have prepared var file. Okay, we are going to get the android.var file. We are going to get android.var file. After that, we are going to do the deployment. Here again, two cases. Who is going to do the deployment? In some of the companies, DevOps engineer is going to do the deployment. In some of the companies, we are going to just give it to the testing team so that they can do. Or else, we are going to give it to some middleware team. They are going to handle the deployment and all. So it purely depends on choice. Okay, it purely depends on applications, how they are going to do it. But the thing is that every day we are getting build request at 9 p.m. and you are just sitting in the office just to call the build.xml file. For suppose if it is taking 2 hours of time, by at what time it is going to be complete? 11. But every day you are getting build request, suppose, but every day they are sending at 9 p.m. only. Are you be interested to stay in the office to just to call this XML file? Tell me, guys. Are you be interested to stay in the office till 9 p.m. just to call the XML file and again sit idle for 2 hours and again just you are going to have the var file? Are you be interested or not? Tell me, guys. I need answers.
Automation.
No.
First of all, this is no. But can you ask the development team saying that boss don't send at 9 p.m. Can you please send at 4 p.m. or at 3 p.m.?
No.
No. Why can't you ask? Because that is his time, right? His office timing is from 9:30 to 6:30. He needs to prepare the Java files, right? His main focus is on preparing the source code. Am I right or wrong? He's not going to send the build request at 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. for our sake. Yeah, tell me. Someone is talking.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, he's not supposed to be now.
Yeah, because and that too, as a DevOps engineer, we should not ask the doubt team saying that boss don't send at 9 p.m. please send at 4 p.m. No, we should not ask like that. Okay, so what we will do? But can you be in office every day till 9 p.m. to complete it? Again, you are going to leave the office by 11 p.m. If suppose build got failed, then you are going to send one email to the development team saying that boss, the build got failed with this error so and so, and we are going to capture the log and we are going to send it to the DevOps to the development team, and you are going to leave the office. Okay, in order to do this activity, in order to automate this activity, we have one tool that is called continuous integration tool. Not only for this activity, but just for understanding only at the beginning, I am saying this. Okay. Even in the real time, we are going to look at so many features of the continuous integration tool. What are those? Okay, continuous integration tool. Can you guys list down what are the continuous integration tools are available in the market? Hudson. Tell me guys, anyone knows?
Hudson.
Jenkins. Okay, what else? Jenkins, TFS. What else? Bamboo. These many continuous integration tools are available in the market. Cruise control. Okay, but again here the question is which one you want to use it? Which one you want to use? Guys, can you tell me? Which one you want to use?
Generally, like in my organization, we are using Jenkins.
Why we need to select only the Jenkins? Why not other? We should have some specific reason, right, to use the Jenkins.
Yeah, like Hudson is the older one, and Jenkins got evolved out of this Hudson, and all other plugins which requires to generate the reports for them. I mean, I have found ready-made plugins are available for Jenkins.
Yes, we do have some ready-made plugins which are available in the Jenkins, and also Jenkins was purely developed in Java. Later, some point of time, if you want to do some kind of a customizations, that can be very easy in Jenkins. Okay, so in my class, I'm going to teach about the Jenkins. In Jenkins, I'm going to cover how to do the installation of the Jenkins in Windows machine and in Linux machine, how to create the service in Jenkins, how to change the port number of the Jenkins, what are the important files for the Jenkins, what is the folder structure you are going to get when you do the installation of the Jenkins, what is the how to configure the jobs in Jenkins, what is parameterized build in Jenkins, okay, how to use the build triggers in Jenkins, how many build triggers are available in Jenkins, how to do the checkout of the code by using the Jenkins, what is upstream and downstream job in the Jenkins, what is the by default workspace of the Jenkins, how to do the installation of the plugin, how to create our own plugin and how to upload our own plugin to the Jenkins, what is master and slave concept of the Jenkins, right? I'm going to talk about these many topics in the Jenkins, and I will show you my real-time environment Jenkins also once you guys are comfortable with the Jenkins. Okay, at the end of the Jenkins session, I will show you my real-time Jenkins also, how we have configured our jobs and all those things. Okay, and in my classes, I'm going to teach about the Python also, because most of the companies now they are asking for one scripting language. Why? Because in the Jenkins itself, if you want to do some kind of a automation, you are going to use the one scripting language. That's the reason most of the companies they are going to ask we should have one scripting language. Either it can be a script, either it can be a shell script or a Perl or a Python or a Ruby or a Groovy. Okay, but in my class, I'm going to teach about Python. Why I'm teaching only Python? Why not shell and all? Because Python is the most powerful scripting language. Suppose if I want to implement one logic, maybe if it is taking some 100 lines in shell scripting, that can be done in some 20 or 15 lines in Python. That much of powerful. And that too, Python have some predefined modules also. I will show you how to use those modules, and I will show you how to create our own modules, on which purpose we need to write our own modules. I will talk about all those things in my Python course. Okay, and then I'm going to teach about Docker. See, before Python, I'm going to start with some Linux basic commands, and after that I will go with the Python, and I'm going to teach about the Docker. Guys, can anyone have any idea about the Docker? What is meant by Docker? Why we need to use the Docker and all? Any idea? At least anybody have any basic idea of Docker?
Docker is there to maintain the, I mean, it's an image repository. That's what I know. So, I mean, we'll be creating the image of our things and we'll be putting it in Docker. And then from Docker, we will be doing the build.
Okay, okay. Let me give you one real-time based example to understand it very clearly. What is meant by Docker and all. Suppose let us assume that I want to share this Android.war file to my customer. He want to implement this application in his environment. To do this, he need, what are those he need? He need OS. Am I right or wrong? He need to install Java, and then he should have Tomcat in his mission, and then he's going to do the deployment. Am I right or wrong? I want to give Android.war file to my customer, but my customer doesn't have any technicality to have the prerequisite. These are all the prerequisites, right? Suppose if Android.war should work in this mission, when he should have OS in his mission, and he should have a Java installed in his mission, he should have a Tomcat in his mission, he should have deployment of that particular WAR file, so that he can able to launch the application. But my customer doesn't have a technicality stuff. What I can do here now? Two ways. One is I can directly go to his workplace and I can do that installation and I can do the setup each and everything. But if I have a 10,000 customers, very difficult for me, right, to go to each and every work area to work on this activity. Right or wrong? So in order to do this activity, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one Docker file. In the Docker file, I'm going to put my instructions like install OS, install Java, install Tomcat, do the deployment. Okay, I'm going to put these many instructions in my Docker file. After that, I'm going to create an image out of this file. Anyway, we'll see in classes how to create the image and all. Okay, in my Docker file, I'm going to put my instructions and I'm going to create this package. I'm going to create this image. After that, I'm going to push to Docker Hub. Push to Docker Hub. Docker Hub is nothing but it is the place where we're going to store our images. It is just like a cloud environment that is going to be held by Docker. Okay, I'm going to put my instructions in my Docker file like install OS, install Java, install Tomcat. Okay, and do the deployment. These many instructions I have put down in my Docker file, and I'm going to create the image based on this Docker file, and I will keep my image in the Docker Hub. Whenever the customer need, just pull image and run to get container. Okay, so if suppose I am the customer, I want to use the Android application, what I need to do? My responsibility as a customer is just download the Docker from the image, just download the Docker image from the Docker Hub and just run the Docker image, so that I'm going to have the container in my mission. Container is nothing but it is just like a folder that is going to have the files which are needed to run the application in your mission. That's it. Am I need now? Am I going to bother about voice installation? No. Am I going to bother about the Java installation? No. Am I going to bother about the Tomcat installation? No, because I'm not aware of each and everything. My image is going to do that activity. What is my responsibility? Pull the image from the Docker Hub, just run it, so that container is going to be created. It is just like a folder. It is going to have the files which are helpful for me to launch the application in my environment, in my mission. This is all about Docker. Anyway, we'll see more practicality about this Docker and all those things in my classes. And in my class, I'm going to teach about Ansible also. Does anyone knows about Ansible? This Docker, we are going to call it as, what is meant by Docker? Containerization tool. Docker is nothing but a containerization tool. Docker is containerization tool. Okay, what is meant by Ansible? Ansible is a configuration management tool. What are the configuration management tools are available in the market? Puppet, Chef, Ansible, Salt Stack. Okay, these many configuration management tools are available in the market. Can anyone tell me what is the use of the configuration management tool? In which scenario we can use configuration management tool? Can you tell me, guys? Anyone? Do you guys have any idea about configuration management tool? Does anyone have any idea about configuration management tool? Okay, no problem. Let's see. I will tell you one real-time scenario to understand it very clearly. Suppose I want to install Java in some 50 missions. I want to install Java in 50 missions. How much time it is going to take for me to install the Java in 50 missions? I need to log into each mission manually and I need to install Java. Once I'm done in one mission, and again I need to log into the second mission and I need to do the installation of the Java and I need to come out of that mission. Right? That is a sequential process. I need to do it. It is going to take a hell lot of time. And also by mistake, suppose I want to do it in each and every mission, I need to do it in some D drive. But by mistake, in some missions I have did in E drive or F drive. Okay, that means that all the missions are not in sync because I have installed the software that is called Java in some different locations, but I want to do it in a single location, like in a D drive in every mission. Right, we do have some error prone with if you do it manually, and also it is going to take hell lot of time to install Java in the 50 missions. But if you have a configuration management tool in place, suppose like Ansible, we are going to have the master. From this master mission, we are going to have one mission as a master mission, and the remaining missions I am going to call it as a slaves or else nodes. Node, slave, client, each and everything same. Okay, I'm going to install the nodes in the respective missions, and I'm going to make one mission as a master, and I'm going to write one script, and I'm going to write that script in the master mission so that the script is going to be executed in all the missions parallelly. That means within 5 minutes we are in a position to install the Java in all the missions. Which script you want to write, how to write, all those things we'll see in the classes. Suppose if you go for a Puppet, we need to write a DSL language. Suppose if you go for a Chef, we need to write it in a Ruby. Suppose if you go for Ansible, then we need to write it in a YAML code. But anyway, in the classes, we'll see how to write it down on all those things. It's just a matter of writing a script file and executing the file only once at the master, so that the script is going to be executed in all the node missions parallelly. So the Java is going to be installed in 50 missions within 5 minutes. And suppose we can take one more example like Linux administrator. Suppose he had installed Red Hat in the Linux missions, suppose in 10 missions. Tomorrow he got new version, new update he got. Suppose he want to upgrade his Linux missions, 10 Linux missions he want to upgrade it. Okay, if you don't have configuration management tool in place, he's going to do it manually, each and every mission. One by one he need to do it. Right? But if you have configuration management tool in place, he's going to make one mission as a master, and the remaining missions he's going to do the installation of the client. He's going to do the installation of the Notion. He's going to do the installation of the node. Okay, anything can be done. Like maybe he can do the installation of the agent or a client or a node. Everything, the terminology is same. It is going to be differ from tool to tool in the configuration management. Okay, there what he's going to do is he's going to write one script. In that script, he's going to put the instructions to do the upgradation of the OS, and he's going to execute only from one mission. That is going to be executed parallel in all the missions, so that the upgradation is going to be happen in all the Linux missions in a parallel manner. Okay, so that is very useful in the real time. Even Amazon, okay, big companies, they are trying to use these configuration management tools now. They already have in place these configuration management tools. And in my classes, I'm going to teach about the AWS also. Does anyone knows about AWS? What is meant by AWS? Why we need to use the AWS? At least some basic idea of AWS. Can you tell me, guys?
Cloud computing.
Cloud
AWS is the service provider for the cloud service providers. We can go for VM, we can go for n number of services what we are looking for. Like even to send an email also, SES is there, SNS is there, S3 is there for as a bucket. Basically, cloud service provider. You can say.
Yeah, but in the simplest way, we can tell like rather than maintaining the servers in your premises, rather than maintaining the servers in your premises, we are just going and putting the request to the AWS, to the Amazon. They are going to provide you the service on a lease basis. Rather than having the missions, rather than having the servers in your premises, just you are going to take the missions from the AWS with only the one simple request. Okay, so I need not to maintain any Linux administrator to maintain my Linux mission. I no need to bother about how to do the installation of the OS and all those things, right? I'm going to put my all the instructions in my request so that they are going to be provide me on ready-made basis. Am I right or wrong? Within a fraction of seconds, they are going to provide the mission to you. Suppose if I'm not going for a cloud computing, then I need to buy a Linux mission. To buy a Linux mission, I need to take so many approvals and I need to go for the budget planning. Once they are okay, then I'm going to take the mission. My Linux administrator is going to do the OS in that mission. Am I right or wrong? These are all the things that we need to take care of it. But nowadays, most of the companies, they are trying to remove their headache as much as possible. That's the reason, rather than maintaining by our team like in our premises and all, we are going to have it in the cloud. Just go on, put request in the AWS, so they are going to provide it. And that too, they are going to charge you when you used it. Suppose I don't want Linux mission now at this moment, then remove it. Again, if you want, then go on, take it from them. Okay. So for this, we are going to use the AWS also. And I'm going to cover most of the topics in AWS also. And we will see some of the services in AWS also. And apart from these things, I'm going to explain one real-time project also. While touch basing the tools, I'm going to explain the project also. Where we need to use this tool, how to use it, how the request is going to come, what are the day-to-day activities of the DevOps engineer, what are the responsibilities of the DevOps engineer. In interviews, how they are going to ask the questions. Nobody is going to ask the question in the straightforward manner. Okay, they will ask you the questions in the real-time manner. So I will explain for each and every topic. When I am done with the topic, I'm going to explain the interview questions, how they are going to ask the question in the real-time manner. This is all about DevOps. Do you guys have any doubts with the DevOps now? At least you guys have some basic idea what is meant by DevOps, which tools is going to have. Yeah, I'm covering Ansible mostly, and I will touch base some of the topics of the Chuff also, because every company is going to have at least only one configuration management tool. If you are saying that in your resume you are using both the tools, like you have worked on Chuff and you worked on the Ansible, but you are in the same company from last 3 years, and you are saying that from last 3 years you have worked on Puppet and Ansible or Puppet and Chuff or Chuff and Ansible, then you are going to be caught over there. They are going to use either of these three. Okay, not both the tools. Only one tool they are going to maintain it.
These tools are based on the client requirement, no?
Yeah, yes. Closely the client requirement and based on our environment.
Might be we can use the different tools in different projects.
Suppose let us assume that you worked on Ansible, but my company requirement is Puppet. Shall I take you or not? But you know, because not only I'm going to seeking only for the guy who knows Chuff. I'm seeking for the guy who knows Git, who knows Python, who knows Ansible, who knows Linux basics, who knows AWS. Right? But you know Chuff, but I'm looking for Ansible. Shall I take you or not? I can
Obviously
take you.
No.
Because no, Why? Because the intention of the tool is same, right? It's maybe a graphical user interface is different. Maybe the way of approaching is different. That's it, right? But you know Git, right? That I need. You know Jenkins, that I need. You know and scripting, that I know. That I need it. Right? The purpose of the tool is same, right? Suppose you know how to ride a bike, like Bajaj bike. Is it comfortable for you to ride a Hero Honda bike or not? Same thing, right? And most of the guys and think in real time, like is everyone is going to learn all the tools or only one tool? Only one, right? Okay. And one more thing, when I'm going to touch base with the Jenkins, I'm going to touch base with two more technologies like Nexus. This is just like an artifact management tool to store our artifacts. I'm going to touch base this tool, and I'm going to touch base Tomcat also when I'm going to deal with Jenkins, Nexus and Tomcat. Yeah. Any more questions, guys? Any more confusions? Are you guys at least learned something about DevOps? I'm not expecting 100% because this is the first session, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because we need some time to understand things. Yeah.
I have few questions about our going on upcoming training session. How many days you are going to cover all these topics?
Maybe max 7 to 8 weeks. I will not take more than that. 7 to 8 weeks.
Means daily 1 hour class, is it?
Yeah, daily 1 hour. Yes.
It's like a Monday to Friday or like
Monday to Friday.
Okay.
Okay. So, Chandu, one question from my side is
40 hours, right?
Yes, so, like, have you used this Kubernetes?
Kubernetes, I worked on it, but I am not going to teach that as part of this course actually, because I am covering Ansible and Docker, right?
Just I thought of like knowing the difference, like if this configuration management tool, it will be entirely taken by Kubernetes, right? Or how?
No, I will tell that. I will tell the difference when I am going to teach with the Docker.
Okay.
Anyway, even though I am going with the tool, I am going to compare with the other tools also. How the structure is, how the architecture is there with this tool, how the architecture is going to be there in the other tools. That I am going to compare, and I will go with my tool only. Don't assume that I'm going to only drive into this particular tool only. No. What is the counterpart for it? What they are offering for these situations? All those things I will cover it. Don't worry.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So the timings will be same, Chandu, right?
Yeah, same.
Okay. And in case like if I'm missing the session, we will be getting this recorded one, right? Recorded session video.
That we need to check with the management.
Okay.
Because I'm not aware of it. That we can check with the management.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. Is it? Yeah, I'm just worrying about. Are we going to cover all these topics in this 35 to 40 hours time?
Yes, because of why I don't want to increase it. Suppose if I'm teaching these things in some, suppose 12 to 13 weeks, that means approximately 3 months. You are going to lose that much of fire also on the DevOps. For 3 months learning the course, that doesn't help us, because nowadays the tools are coming very fast into the market. Okay, now the market is very good for the DevOps. If you put the resume in the Naukri, we are going to get many calls compared to other technologies, each and every technology. When the market is up, just try to grab the things as early as possible and try to get the job. But anyway, I'm going to cover it. Still, if it is not fitting in my time, then I'm going to take extra one more week also. It doesn't mean that something like I'm going to wind up each and everything in 6 to 7 only. No. If it is needed, then I will definitely extend the course at least for 7 days or to 1 week. To 1 week or to 10 days. My intention is how much I am delivering, how much you are going to learn it. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it a practical oriented or just you are covering up all the topics? Are we going to show us the any practical things in the, for example, if you are going to teach about in Docker, are we going to install the Docker in your machine, and are you going to show us the how the container is there?
Each and everything I am going to do it in my laptop. It is not something like I have already installed. No. If I already installed Docker and each and everything, then learning the course is not that much of useful, right, for you guys.
Yeah.
Even suppose, even suppose if the tool is installed in my laptop, I will take the screen share from any one of your guys, and I'm going to do the same installation in front of you guys only.
Okay. Yeah.
Suppose if it is already installed, then I will ask you guys to share the screen, and I will show the
screen.
installation.
Yeah.
Definitely, you guys should be aware of all those things that I will cover.
Yeah. Thank you.
Chandu, to learn this Puppet, Chef, and Ansible, is it Python, Ruby is compulsory, or without knowing that also we can learn?
Ansible was derived from Python only. That is the basic funda of Ansible. Python is the basic funda for Ansible, and
So
Ruby is the
not
basic funda. Right? Ruby is the basic funda for the Chef. In my class, I'm going to teach Python and Ansible.
No, we should know Ruby and Python also, right? So you are teaching only Python, right?
Yeah, I'm teaching only Python. I'm not teaching Ruby. No, this is the counterpart each and actually. Because if you want to cover 2 to 3 tools in one technology, that's a bit difficult for us. Even it is going to take a lot of time to cover all those things, and also at the end you are not going to have that much of experience in those also. Be strong in one, that is also sufficient to crack the interview and to survive in the market also.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Aditya, it can be done in Ubuntu, not a problem. Yeah. What else, guys? Any more questions?
Is there kind of possibility to make it instead of 1 hour, make it 1.5 hours daily?
That is, not only for you, right? Because so many members are in the session, right? And schedule based on the schedules, we are going to plan to 1 hour only. Because maybe some guys are much faster, like suppose some working professionals are there, they want bit fast and they want to wind up each and everything in quick manner. Some people, they just completed the MCA and BTech, right? We are going to have different kinds of people in the class, right? So I need to take care of each and everyone, and I need to move on to that thing. And also sometimes it can be extended to 1 hour 15 minutes, sometimes it can be wind in 15 minutes, sometimes it can be 1 hour 20 minutes, like that. It is not something like a specific, it is based on the topic actually. Suppose I was in the middle of the topic, then I'm going to complete the topic and I'm going to leave the class.
Chandu, again, this is Shiva. Are you going to give us any practice tests or something like that on daily basis or something?
Yeah, daily basis I'm going to tell you how to do the installation. All the guys need to do that practice in your laptops, and I will take the screen shares. And still, if you are facing any issue after the class, I will take the screen share and I will resolve your problem. And I will give some assignments. For every class, I'm going to give some assignments also. And I will take any one of the assignment and I will look at the assignment, how they have did and all. And still, if someone is facing the problem, then I will take the screen share at the end of the session. Or else in the class itself, I will take the session and share the screen, and I will show to others also what is the problem he is facing and how it could be resolved.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any more guys? Any more questions, guys?
Are you providing any material on this?
Sorry?
Any books or?
Yeah, we are going to provide the we are going to provide the book also for this training course. We are going to provide the book also with the real-time example. Sorry, with the real-time project. We do have implemented the project. All those things are well written in that particular book. But try to get more knowledge in my class itself. That is my sincere request. Okay.
Sure,
yeah.
Sure. Thank you.
Is there any certification for this?
No. We are not providing any certification, and also I am also not suggesting to go for the certification in the Devops, because we are not going to have that much of value in the India actually. Still, if you are interested, then no one is going to stop you. Anyway, if you have advantage, if you have a certification, that is always a added advantage to you. But in India, we don't have that much of value for the certification for the DevOps. That is what I am trying to say. Even if you want to do the certification, then it's well and good. But it is not at all a mandatory thing. Because in my career, I have taken the interviews for so many students. Till now, nobody asked me, do you have a certification? This is what I have observed in the interviews. Yes, please.
How the DevOps is integrated with AWS?
We are going to do so many activities, right? I will show those things in my classes.
I mean, you mean to say that the DevOps is migrated? I mean, we can incorporate the DevOps into AWS. That's what
Yes.
you're going to say?
Yes, even in AWS also we are going to use the Docker within AWS itself. Within AWS itself, we are going to use the configuration management tools also. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you guys for joining the session. I hope you understand something about the DevOps. Okay, we'll see in the next sessions.
Thank you, Chandu. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Good night.
Yeah. Thank you guys for your time.